After Congress passed legislation to raise the country's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling with only days to spare, the country avoided an economically disastrous default. President Joe Biden will address the nation in a primetime speech on Friday. At 7 o'clock Eastern, the president will deliver his first Oval Office address from behind the Resolute Desk. As he does in his 2024 re-election campaign, Biden is anticipated to highlight the agreement he reached with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy as a victory for American families and evidence of his capacity for compromise to keep the country on course. According to snippets of his prepared remarks released by the White House, he will say that maintaining the full faith and credit of the United States and passing a budget that continues to grow our economy and reflects our values as a country are essential to all the progress we've made in the last few years. And for that reason, I'm speaking to you right now to discuss a crisis that was averted and what we are doing to safeguard America's future. It was crucial to approve this budget deal. There was no way to overstate the stakes. The deal's bipartisan nature will also be emphasized by Biden, who will address the country with the words, "No one got everything they wanted, but the American people got what they needed. A financial crisis and an economic collapse were avoided." White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre responded that Biden wanted to feel the gravity of the occasion when asked by ABC News' Elizabeth Schultz why he picked the Oval Office for the speech. "He just wanted to make sure that the American people understood how important it was to get this done, how important it was to do this in a bipartisan way," Jean-Pierre replied. "This would have been the first default in history. We've outlined the possible outcomes. Potentially causing a recession, losing millions of jobs, up to 8 million, increasing costs for all Americans, including devastating effects on retirement accounts and paychecks. If we didn't complete this by Monday, that's what might have happened." Biden and McCarthy argued back and forth for several months before coming up with the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Through January 1, 2025, the debt ceiling is raised in exchange for some federal spending reductions. It will put an end to weeks of concern that the country would plunge into economic chaos by failing to pay all of its bills, including Social Security or Medicaid benefits, on time and in full for the first time in history. Biden said he will sign the bill as soon as possible. While working behind the scenes to hammer out the agreement, Biden occasionally infuriated Democrats, particularly those in the progressive wing of the party, who were concerned he was caving into Republican demands too much. At one point, a number of members of his party urged him to act alone and raise the debt ceiling unilaterally, in accordance with the 14th Amendment. Biden ultimately rejected this idea, but he promised to further consider it. He stated earlier this week, "I have been clear that the only path forward is a bipartisan compromise that can earn the support of both parties." This agreement passes that requirement, while McCarthy sold it to his caucus as a necessary reining in of government spending. The White House highlighted the protection of important priorities and legislative accomplishments. The end result did give both Democrats and Republicans something to celebrate. McCarthy said, "I wanted to make history," as he celebrated the bill's passage in the House. "I wanted to do something that no other Congress has done, that we would literally turn the ship, and for the first time in quite a while, we would spend less than we did the previous year. We all created history tonight." The bill received the necessary support from moderates in both parties in the House and Senate, but ultimately, more congressional Democrats supported it than Republicans. After the vote on Thursday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat from New York, declared triumphantly that Democrats are feeling very good tonight. "We've prevented the nation from falling into default." Democrats, according to Schumer, beat back the worst of the Republican agenda, including deeper spending cuts that would have destroyed some provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act, removed recipients from federal assistance, and prevented Biden's plan to forgive student loans. However, as he first commended senators from both parties for safeguarding the hard-earned economic progress we have made and averting default, Biden adopted a more conciliatory tone. Together, they demonstrated once more that America is a nation that pays its bills and meets its obligations, and always will be, he said before listing some of the Democratic priorities that were kept in the bill. According to him, it protects fundamental programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, as well as people's access to health care and retirement security. It safeguards crucial investments in hardworking families that contribute to the strength of our nation, including Meals on Wheels, child care, and education. It safeguards my strategy for helping borrowers who put forth a lot of effort. Additionally, it upholds America's sacred duty to its veterans by fully funding their medical care.